Welcome back to our series on digital transformation and law. This is video 5 in our series on fake news, fake content and its legal implications. In the last video, we talked about how the EU regulates fake content. In this video, we will deep dive into the Digital Services Act, DSA, and break down which remedies it provides against illegal content, from the perspective of a victim of fake content. Katharina, can you remind our audience what the main objectives of the DSA are?
Certainly, Morten. The DSA aims to make the internet safer by holding platforms accountable for harmful content like hate speech, requiring transparency in how content is moderated, and giving users more control over their data and online experiences, such as content recommendations.
Good. Now, in this video, we want to focus on remedies available to users against fake content. So fake content and fake news can target various parties and comes in different forms. For example, defamation with false accusations that damage reputation. This can be directed against natural persons, but also against companies. Now take an example. My client detects several posts about him and his business on one of the famous social media platforms. The posts are full of clearly false and defamatory statements. Obviously, my client finds these false statements are extremely detrimental and his whole reputation is in danger. And even more, we could investigate that a professional strategy of fake content is behind the posts. Several comments to that post originate from fake accounts, which we could verify. So we are dealing with two things at the same time. Posts with fake content, namely disinformation, and fake accounts who spread the fake content by the comment function on the platform. So what rights or redress options does my client have in this case, looking at the DSA?
Under the DSA, your client can file a notice using an easy-to-access reporting tool, the so-called notice and action mechanism, which must be provided by all hosting providers, including, of course, an online platform such a social media platform. The notice must clearly identify the reported content. Usually that's done via inserting an URL, explain why the content is allegedly illegal or harmful, and include contact information for follow-up. The platform must then, in the next step, review the notice quickly and explain clearly why they made their decision to remove or not remove, or in the case of an account, suspend or not suspend an account. The platform has to take a complex decision here, carefully balancing fundamental rights such as freedom of expression and personal rights to prevent overblocking of content.
Okay, and now, can my client take redress against that decision if he's not happy with it?
Yes, the platform must have a system in place for users to complain about its decision. If they in fact receive a complaint, the platform has to review the decision carefully. For doing so, they cannot just solely rely on automated systems, and decisions have to be made under the supervision of qualified staff. If the platform still doesn't take action, the user can challenge the decision either through an out-of-court process or by going directly to court. It's important to note that the user has the right to take the case to court at any stage during this content moderation process.
So let's look at how this might work in practice. Take my example that I've given before of my client who is suffering from a real disinformation campaign against him on social media. The disinformation with false information about my client is spread through various channels, for example, videos reporting on alleged investigations, posts repeating the accusations, and comments under the posts. Now, in my example, we are dealing with fake profiles created for this purpose. When these fake profiles interact with the infringing posts, they give the posts even a greater reach on the platform. So what can my client do against it?
First, your client can report the illegal content to the platform. As mentioned before, the platform must provide an easy-to-access reporting tool for this purpose. The platform will then review the reported content and inform the company of the decision. To go on with your example, let's just assume instead of full removal, the platform decides to keep the video online but deletes the infringing posts. The platform also decided not to block the accounts from which the fake content is spread.
This means that my client has only achieved part of its goal, and the posts containing the disinformation and the fake profiles are still online. How could my client proceed against this?
Your client can then file a complaint against the decision. The platform will now review its decision and may change it. Let's assume that the platform now decides that the video is also infringing and will therefore be removed.
So that's a success for my client. Now, only the fake profiles that were used for spreading the fake content remain active. Is there anything my client can do about that?
If the platform has not found sufficient evidence of fake profiles, your client can still take action through other legal channels. To do so, it could take action against the fake profiles before an out-of-court settlement body or in court. Not DSA specific, but still important to mention, if your client knows who is behind the fake profiles. For example, your client knows and has indication that your client's competitor has organized this profile. It could also take legal action against him, namely with a warning letter, preliminary injunction, or further claims regarding damages. It's also possible to file a criminal complaint for defamation with the authorities if individual authors of the fake content can be identified.
Thanks, Katharina. This was a great overview over the redress options for victims of fake content. So let's get to my key takeaways for today's video. First, all online service providers are required to establish a notice and action mechanism for users to report illegal content. Second, the DSA gives users several remedies against fake content. A user can file a notice and, if he or she is not happy with that decision, a complaint against the content decision. And third, users can also appeal to an out-of-court dispute settlement body or go directly to the courts. The possible measures can be taken against many types of content, including posts and videos, but also comments or even entire accounts. Thank you for watching. In our next video, we will deal with the scope and obligations of the DSA and take a closer look at the platform's perspectives. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and don't miss out of the next video. See you next time.